Hello, and thank you for joining. This is how to achieve peak performance through mental fitness. This is the brain work of Shirzad Shamin, the founder of Positive Intelligence. It has been featured on the New York Times, Fast Company, and the Wall Street Journal. My name is Kenny Harper. I'm the founder of Growth Amplifiers, a certified business coach, marketing advisor, and mental fitness coach. And I want you to just start off by taking a moment just to imagine what would be possible. So if you could, just close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine what would be possible if you showed up as the best version of yourself more often. Imagine one of those days that you've had where you just were energized, you woke up, you felt great, everything just went smooth. If you had any setback, it didn't bother you. It didn't set you back. You just felt good. You were connecting with people. You were getting things done. You felt free. You felt confident. You felt fulfilled. Now open your eyes. Now, here's the thing. You can show up as the best version of yourself more often, but that takes mental fitness. Now, if you're curious to know what you can do to start increasing your mental fitness, you're in the right place because that's what we're going to be talking about. Today's agenda, what we're going to cover is the 3 core muscles to achieve peak performance through mental fitness. And this will give you the knowledge, the framework from Positive Intelligence. We're going to talk about how to be more aware with the saboteur interceptor, how to strengthen our mental fitness using the self-command muscle. And then we're going to talk about the sage powers, the muscles that can help us achieve peak performance. And if you are interested in continuing your mental fitness journey, there is a 6-week PQ cohort. PQ stands for positive quotient. And that is really kind of like a boot camp to put these ideas into practice. Because what you'll find out, it's not what you know. It's really the actions that you take. It's like if you're going to get physically fit, you need to learn how to do a proper push-up or a proper sit-up. But knowing it is just the starting point. You have to actually do the exercise to get physically fit. It's the same thing with mental fitness. So I have had the opportunity to connect with people around the world. I work with business coaches, business advisors, service-based professionals. I love putting on events, workshops, all of that nature, and I love just helping people elevate and amplify their results. But let's get started off by talking about what mental fitness is. The definition of mental fitness is your capacity to respond to life's challenges with a positive rather than negative mindset. And when you have strong mental fitness, that is how you can achieve peak performance. When you have strong mental fitness, that is how you can have more peace of mind, more wellness, less stress and anxiety. When you have strong mental fitness, that is how you can have healthier relationships. Because you're not reacting with those negative reactions, you're able to step in as the best version of yourself. Now, the concepts that we'll be covering today have been researched, and they really kind of put together the best from different types of mental science, including positive psychology, performance science, neuroscience, cognitive behavioral psychology. They all come together and create the framework of positive intelligence. Now, this is done through factor analysis, which discovers the root cause and results in radical simplification. So take a moment right now, take a moment, look all around. How many colors do you see? Probably thousands, if not millions. There's all sorts of different colors, different shades. But at the root of thousands of colors are only 3 factors: red, yellow, and blue, the primary colors. You put them together in different levels and they can create all the different colors of the rainbow. The same thing goes with this concept. So if you have all these different types of mindset meditation, mental fitness, psychology. And so in mental fitness, when you take all those different types of mental science, psychology, and put them together through factor analysis, you could find that there's only 3 core muscles at the root of mental fitness: the saboteur interceptor, self-command, and sage powers. And that's what we'll be covering in this presentation. So if you like taking notes, which I always recommend, have pen, have paper, or jot down on your digital device. But you want to jot down these notes because you want to put them into action. If you just watch and just are listening, but you're not really taking the notes in and then applying them, you can't really expect to get the benefits of it. So get the most out of it, focus in, hone in with me, and then let's make this really worthwhile. All right, number 1, the first muscle we're going to talk about is the saboteur interceptor. Now, we all self-sabotage. We're all people. We all have different thoughts going through our mind on a regular basis. And some of those are good thoughts. They lighten us up, they inspire us, they motivate us. And some of those, they may kind of push us back. They hinder us. They get us to self-doubt. It causes stress and anxiety. We constantly have different thoughts that we're thinking. It's like with different voices in our head. And if you pay attention, you can kind of hear them sometimes. Oh, God, that's so stupid. I should have done this. Oh, my gosh, there's such an idiot. Oh, this really sucks. And that goes through our brain. I'm a positive person. I look at the things and I'm grateful for what I have. But even I can sometimes step back and under the radar, be aware of how much judging I have going on a regular basis. So we all have this going on a regular basis. So Shirzad broke down that there's 10 different saboteurs, 10 different kind of traits. We all have different personalities. We'll go over these in a moment. And there are 5 sage powers. Now, it's okay that there are only 5 sage powers and 10 saboteurs because the sage powers are more powerful than those destructive saboteurs. Let's break these down just a little bit further. Now, we have different parts of our mind. The saboteurs come from the brain stem, the limbic system, the left side of our brain. The more analytical side, we can overthink things, we judge things. But the sage powers comes from our middle prefrontal cortex. It's really the part of our mind that can connect with empathy, with love, and creativity, the right parts of our brain. The saboteurs, they can motivate you, they can push you into action, but they do so through negative emotions such as fear or stress or anxiety or guilt or shame or insecurity. While the sage powers motivates you through positive emotions like empathy, curiosity, creativity, passion, and purpose. Saboteurs can push you to generate success, but not happiness. And if you look into your life, you'll probably realize and see that there are some successful people on paper that have achieved some great things. Maybe they've generated a lot of money, or they have a lot of material possessions, or they built a great business or company, but they're not happy. They're stressed out. And maybe other parts of their life are wrecked. Maybe it's their health and they have chronic issues going on. Maybe it's their relationships and they've lost connection with their loved ones or their family or their children or what have you. So these saboteurs can motivate you to accomplish things, but it's not the better path. The better path is to follow your sage side, which generates success, but it does it from your positive side, and it pulls you, it inspires you. It really gets you to step into an energized, authentic self where you're getting things done, but you're doing it from being inspired. And you connect with others, and you lead others, and you inspire others, and you can have that happiness and fulfillment. So if you're going to work towards achieving things and making things happen, and one side is going to be pushing you and stressing you out, giving you anxiety and causing non-happiness, and the other side can pull you and inspire you to achieve the best outcome, which choice would you rather take? You may have heard the story. There's two different sides within us: the negative side, the bad, the positive side. They're like wolves. And which wolf would win the fight? It's the one you feed. It's the same thing here. So we're going to talk about the saboteur self-assessment. I'm going to walk through the saboteurs, and you can do this and rank on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 where you do not relate to this at all, and 10 where you highly relate to the saboteur tendency. And there is actually a saboteur assessment, which I highly recommend you check out and fill it out. It'll do a better job than the self-assessment, but we'll go through it anyway. All right, so the first saboteur, it's the master saboteur. It's the judge. Now, the judge judges many things. We judge ourselves. We judge others. We judge circumstances. And so rate on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel that judge presence in you? Where 1, again, I don't feel like I judge very often, which everyone does. And 10, it's like, man, I'm judging everything all the time. You judge yourself. Are you critical on yourself? Do you judge others? Do you judge your circumstances, the things that are going on in your life? We all do this. So I can't think of many people would actually get a 1. Most people would at least get a 5 or higher. All right. So now I want you to think for a moment. What is the impact of that on you? That constant judging. If you're judging yourself, what is the impact of that on you? What do you think the impact is on your relationships? Whether it's with your significant other or your team members, if you were judging them. And then what do you think the impact is if you're judging your circumstances all the time? Now, what would it be worth in your life for you if you could turn down that volume? If you could judge less, appreciate more, discern more. We don't have to judge things and put things down. We can discern that, yeah, that's not the greatest thing ever. But I don't need to put the emotion behind it, negative emotion especially. Now, I'm going to give a quick high-level overview of the accomplice saboteurs. Now, most of us have a couple of these saboteurs, if not a few, that work with the judge. The judge happens, we all have it, it's master saboteur. But we tend to have at least 1, 2, 3 of these other accomplice saboteurs. Some may be using more of them. And we all kind of probably have done a little of these from time to time, these tendencies. They're kind of like self-protection mechanisms. So I'll walk through real quick. Each one, there's the controller, scale of 1 to 10. Do you need to feel like you need to be in control all the time? The hyperachiever, you feel like you've always got to be achieving, always got to be performing. And if you don't, you kind of feel like you have less self-worth. Restless, you feel like you've always got to be doing something. You can't just relax and be. 1 to 10 on all these. Stickler, you feel like things got to be just right. They got to be perfect. You can't just get stuff done and it's not perfect. Got to be just right. Pleaser, you put other people's wants and needs in front of your own. Hypervigilant, you feel like something is always going to potentially go wrong. You're constantly stressed out, waiting for the next thing to fall over, waiting for the next problem. Avoider, you tend to avoid conflict or avoid challenging tasks. Just kind of procrastinate and put them back. Victim, you feel like things are always happening to you. Feel like, oh, why me? And hyper-rational. People may be really upset that something happened and you're like, it was just a card that was thrown away. It was a card for your 50th anniversary, but it was just paper. Hyper rational, you're not relating and connecting with other people emotionally. Now, this is just a quick assessment, and we all have these different tendencies. And you may not realize the impact of these saboteurs that they have on your life, but they are impacting how you relate to yourself, what you're able to achieve in your life, how you relate to others. And you can take the online assessment and it'll have you read some statements and you answer questions, and then you'll get results like this. And then it'll tell you the characteristics of these saboteurs and the thoughts that tend to come along with them. And here's the thing, the more that you're aware, the more you're self-aware of the saboteurs that you have, the thoughts that you have that are constantly coming there, they may be flying under the radar. You may not even be realizing that they're happening. The more that you're aware, then that's when you can label them. That's when you can disassociate them. Now, we're talking about things that are positive, things that are negative. The question for you is, are negative emotions good for you? What do you think? Well, if you watch the movie Inside Out, you might say, yeah, sadness actually did have its purpose. Well, is pain good for you? Pain. Can pain be good? Oh, well, what if you were to touch a hot stove and didn't realize it was cooking your hand? That would probably be a negative thing, wouldn't it? You'd cook your hand, and maybe you could have a hand sandwich. My dad, I'm allowed to tell dad jokes. But it wouldn't be good. But negative emotions and pain can be good. But they're only helpful, really, as an alert signal. When you touch that hot stove, it's telling you, ow, get your hand off this thing. This isn't good. Same thing with negative emotions. They're there to alert you. You feel something. Your body, your emotions are trying to tell you something. They're trying to give you a message. Wake up. Something is going on. But staying in that negative emotion hurts your ability to see clearly and respond with empathy, curiosity, creativity, or laser-focused action. Those negative emotions are saboteurs. And they can prevent us from showing up as the best version of ourselves. If somebody does something that we don't like and we judge it, and then we're angry at them, and then now we're thinking with the anger mindset, how we communicate, how we act, how we move that relationship forward, it's not going to be the same as if we discerned, yes, that was not the best thing that happened. Here's what we'd like to do differently. Let me coach and guide this situation to a better outcome. So the takeaway is to strengthen your saboteur interceptor muscle. Once you feel the negative emotion, you must use your saboteur interceptor muscle to recognize it and label it. Labeling it will diminish its power. It's disassociating it from you. So if somebody does something that upsets you, makes you angry, you don't need to judge them as a person. You can discern something that they've done that you don't like and realize my judgment here is that's my judge coming in. I'm getting angry. Let me disassociate it from myself. That's already going to be reducing its power. If you're judging yourself, did something wrong. I'm so stupid. I'm not so stupid. My judge is telling me I'm so stupid. That will diminish its power. So that's the muscle. That's the takeaway. Got to be aware that it's happening. Take this app. Take the saboteur assessment. Be aware of what your saboteurs are. Really understand those characteristics, those thoughts that tend to come. And then you can start being more present, more aware, and labeling them and disassociating them from yourself. That's how you can start this process and improve your mental fitness. All right, now we're in the second muscle, self-command. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. Bruce Lee. I put on running shoes, jogging shorts, and a sweatband. That's good enough exercise for today. Like we've mentioned early on, it's not enough to know these things. We've got to actually take the actions and apply them to really experience the benefits. If you know how to work out, that doesn't really do you a lot of good. You've actually got to work out to become more physically fit, to become stronger. Same thing with mental fitness. And we do the work, we strengthen our mind when we strengthen our self-command. And we could do that with PQ reps. PQ stands for positive quotient. We strengthen our self-command muscle with PQ reps. In a moment, we're going to do a PQ rep. We're going to practice turning off the analytical part of our minds, stepping into our physicality so that we're not overthinking it. We're not letting those self-limiting beliefs, those saboteur thoughts continually have us reacting to them. We're going to be proactive and be present in the moment so we can show up as the true version of ourselves. Now, this is a picture of my boys, Kenny and Michael, and I'm really proud father. These really loving boys. Now, I learned about positive intelligence when I was going through a managerial advisory class, so I can guide teams to be more proficient, more effective, and achieve performance. And I was so inspired by the content. I went through the positive intelligence program myself, and then I became certified positive intelligence mental fitness coach. And then I started sharing it with everyone. I started sharing it with my wife, my business partner, my clients, my team members, and I shared it with my kids. And I was wondering for a while, because I'm talking to them about saboteur thinking and about mindfulness and how they can really get focused in the moment. And I didn't know if what I was teaching them, if it was really getting absorbed. Sometimes you're teaching people things and you're not sure if it's really working for them. But then Michael got a letter from his teacher. Michael was very helpful in sharing his meditation strategies with a classmate who needed some emotional help. I was so touched and pleased when I saw this letter. Now I realized that Mike was not just hearing me, he was absorbing that. He was learning it. So much so that when he saw someone else who was having some challenges with their emotions, he was a guide to them. That is powerful. And so I'm sharing that to you because this really can impact not only yourself, but your loved ones, your inner circle, your team. This is a framework that really is that transformational. So take that to heart. And now we're going to do a small PQ rep. Now, PQ reps are, again, taking a moment. We like to do at least 10 seconds. At least 10 seconds. You can find 10 seconds to get out of your mind and tell your mind, I'm in control. I'm going to switch from the analytical side and really be present in the moment. And what we're going to do first is I'm going to have you close your eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes just for a moment. And I want you to rub 2 fingers together with such attention that you can feel the ridges on both fingers. Really pay attention to those fingers so you can feel the ridges on both. Now take some deep breaths. Pay attention to the flow of air coming in and out of your nostrils. Feel the rise and fall of your chest or your abdomen. If you have mind thoughts coming up, just let them fly by. Pay attention to your breath. Let any thoughts go. Attention to your. Okay, now open your eyes. And that was just a small example of doing a PQ rep. Again, you could do this as little as 10 seconds. But if you do longer PQ reps, that'll even cool down your mind, get it more focused, get more clarity. And it does take self-command to tell your mind, hey, we've got a lot of things going on. There's so many different things pulling for our attention, but we're captains of our ship. We're going to take command and we're going to get focused. We're going to strengthen that mental muscle. If you ever seen a computer that had too many different programs trying to run at the same time, what happens? Starts jamming up, starts bogging up, slowing down, right? Same thing happens with our mind. And when we're doing these PQ reps, we're strengthening our mind with those reps, and we're also clearing up all that clutter so that it can perform better, like closing a bunch of programs so that you don't have 30 of them going on at the same time. If you have one program, now your computer's running really quickly. Now, there are different types of PQ reps, and if you've done mindfulness or meditation in the past, you might be familiar with some of these. And so that's great if you're familiar with kind of mindfulness or meditation, because that's part of how you switch from the saboteur part of your mind to the sage part of your mind. There's breath. You can do PQ reps focusing on your breath. There's visual PQ reps, being able to really look and pay attention to the visual of things. You can do PQ reps to what you're hearing, things that you're hearing in the distance, things that you're hearing close to you. You can use other senses such as touch or scanning your body, taste, scent, all these different things that you can do. And when you practice this and put time to it, and you tell your mind, I'm not going to be monkey minding around right now. I'm going to be focused. I'm going to be training to be present. You're strengthening that side of your mind. And there's scientific studies that have shown the matter, the channel pathways in your mind actually change when you're doing this consistently. Just like if you're working out, you're going to start seeing your muscles become toner. You're going to start feeling stronger. You're going to start not getting out of breath or run out so quickly. You build up momentum. You build up tolerance. Same thing in mental fitness. You can build up stamina when you practice this. Now, success requires intense initial practice. This is approximately doing 15 minutes a day for 6 to 8 weeks. If you really want to get into good shape with your mental fitness, you don't want to be doing, well, I did that 2-minute thing yesterday and I'm going to do another one next week. No, if you really want to get the results you'd want to be working at. You wouldn't be strong enough or fit enough to run a marathon by running once in a while. You would probably start off by doing a fitness boot camp getting into shape, and then you've got to practice consistently to experience the benefits. In 15 minutes a day, when I first heard something like that, I thought that's kind of a lot. But really, if you look at how much time you have in a day and how impactful showing up as the best version of yourself more often and having less stress and anxiety is, that's nothing. And I start my day now with doing a little mindfulness. And then before I get into my work day, I do a little mindfulness. And then at lunchtime, I do a little mindfulness. And then before or around dinner time, I do a little mindfulness. And at the end of the day, just a little bit here and there, you can spread it throughout your day, but it's continually telling the mind, let me get focused. And it takes practice. It takes building the habit. So I want you to think, how would stronger mental fitness help you? How would it help you? Would it help you in your relationship with your significant other, or your relationship with your children, with your family members, with your in-laws, with your business partner, with your team members, with your clients or your customers, or with your colleagues, or your friends, or your community members? How would it help you personally? What would be possible for you if you judged less, if those saboteur tendencies didn't come back and continually sabotage you, if you could recover from things quicker, if you felt less stress and anxiety, if you had more focus and clarity? How would stronger mental fitness help? All right, so now we're in the third section. We're going to be talking about sage powers and the sage perspective. And this is a muscle that you can flex to really shine the positive side of your mindset. And this is really where we have our positive emotions, where we can feel more peace and calm and in the moment. We can come to things with clear-headed focus. We could have more creativity. We can see the bigger picture, and we can perform with peak performance. If we're frustrated and stressed out and experiencing anxiety and all the saboteur thinking, we're not going to be at our best. If we could recognize it, label it, take a little bit of time to cool the jets and get focused, we can step into our sage powers. And this operates from the sage perspective. Now, the sage perspective shares that out of every outcome or circumstance, every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift, an opportunity. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. Can you remember a time in your life where something bad happened, and at the time it seemed awful, and maybe you stressed out about it, maybe you were worried about it, but then time passes, and you can see now, well, that happening actually led to something that was good. And maybe it was for the better. Yes, it was challenging, but I actually learned from that process. So there's really, out of any challenge, it can be turned into a gift or opportunity. A gift of knowledge, we learn something from it. A gift of power, we become stronger from it. Or a gift of inspiration. It was so impactful in our lives, it inspired us to do something different, or to create something, or to move forward a mission. Question for you is, which perspective is true? Saboteur, this is bad, or sage, this is a gift? Answer is, whichever you believe becomes true. Now, I've heard throughout my life, you could look at something as the glass is half full or the glass is half empty, and it's like we all have different ways of looking at things. But here's the thing. You can know this. Once you know this, you could choose the sage perspective. You could say, although it kind of occurs to me that the glass is half empty, I'm going to choose to look at it as the glass is half full. I'm going to find the gift in this situation. I'm going to find the gift of knowledge, the gift of power, or the gift of inspiration. I'm going to look for it, and I'm going to create it. I'm going to manifest it and make it happen. I'm not going to leave it to chance. I'm going to find it, and I'm going to frame it in that way, and I'm going to let any challenge that comes my way, I'm going to accept it with a different energy because I understand that this can be helping me. It is a gift if I receive it as a gift. The door shutting in my face at the job opens up the opportunity for me to explore new opportunities, to grow, to become a better version of myself. If that door didn't shut in my face, other things may have never happened. That relationship that broke up, that hurt at the time, led to other opportunities. We've got to be able to look at things and find the gift and trust and have faith that things will work out. We may not always be able to see the gift in the moment, but if you believe it's there, whatever you believe becomes true. So question again, is it really possible just to shift from this saboteur to sage response, even in tough challenges? The answer, yes. And it depends on the strength of your 3 core muscles. So these are muscles. These are things that you have to strengthen. It's not just enough to know this stuff. Lasting positive change requires only 20% insight, knowing how to work out. The 80% of the result comes from strengthening the mental muscles, from putting these ideas into practice. And you've got to practice creating the habit so you can actually experience the result. This chart here shows the impact of a habit continually being taken over time. And it may start off slow, but then eventually it starts building momentum. So the effect of small habits compound over time. But you've got to continue it up. If you're just going to the gym, you go for the first day, what happens? Chances are the next day you're going to be sore. It was tiring, felt overwhelming, and a lot of people just give up. If you continue going, what happens? You start building some stamina, and you might still not see results. After the first week of going to the gym, or first couple weeks, you're like, man, I've been going. It's not as bad as that first day, but I'm not seeing any benefit. But if you continue going and you continue showing up, what happens? You tend to lose the weight, get in shape. You're like, wow, I'm toning up. I didn't even know I had a muscle there. And that's the same thing with mental fitness. So you've got to commit to changing how you show up, changing how you experience things, because it takes new actions to achieve new results. So let's review. Here are the steps to strengthen your mental fitness. Once you feel the negative emotions, you're like, oh, I'm stressed out. Oh, I'm frustrated. Oh, I feel so anxious. You must use your saboteur interceptor muscle to realize I've been hijacked. I'm in my saboteur mode. Maybe it's my judge. Maybe it's my controller wanting to control things. But you can label the saboteur. That's my saboteur. It's my judge. And you're going to disassociate it from yourself. You must first be aware that you're there. Number 2, once you have done that, you're going to do some PQ reps. You can take as little as 10 seconds. So even if you're in a conversation or in a meeting, you can do some physical PQ reps, rubbing your fingertips together and just like, okay. It's cool, my jet's here. Or if you have a moment, you could do a couple minutes or an even longer session. I've done 20-minute sessions, which may seem long, but it's really like doing a good workout. And it helps you cool your mind and release compound stress. So you do some PQ reps to strengthen your self-command muscle and activate your sage. Then number 3, you assume the sage perspective that every problem can be turned into a gift and opportunity. So you can actually look for the gift in the moment. You can try to find it and say, this is how I'm going to turn this challenge. I'm not going to get stressed out about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to let it hijack me. I'm going to realize that this is a challenge and there's a gift here. If I can find it now, great. And if not, I'll have faith that there is a gift there. I'm going to move on. And we didn't cover it in this session here, but in the book, he covers over the 5 sage powers. The sage power of empathy, the sage power of curiosity, creativity, value-based intuition, and then laser-focused action. And he gives some exercises that you can use and put into play when you're having those times that you want to work through. You can use those sage powers to show up as the best version of yourself. And that's how you can operate in peak performance. So these up top will help you strengthen the mental fitness, and then you can use those sage powers and apply them in the right situation. There you have it. I hope you can take this information and not just hear it, but apply it and practice it to really experience the benefits of stronger mental fitness. So you can show up as the best version of yourself more often. So you can recover from those life setbacks. So you can share this with your inner circle, those that you love and care about, and experience more joy, more happiness, more freedom, more fulfillment. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share this, and continue to share with others that you know so that that ripple effect can go on further. In my next video, I'll share information on how you can continue your mental fitness journey and really apply these lessons, learn more about the sage powers, and take things to the next level. Welcome back, and I wanted to share the invitation to you to continue your mental fitness journey. As mentioned, when I first heard about positive intelligence, I was taking a course, and it mentioned positive intelligence, and there was a book. I learned about the book, I read the book, and I realized there was a program, and I went through the program. And then I was so inspired, I became a certified mental fitness coach myself so that I could share it with others. And I'm going to share this opportunity with you if you'd like to go through the program. Now, if you are someone who just likes to do things on your own, you just came here to learn, you want to learn some about how to achieve peak performance through mental fitness, you want to continue to learn, you want to do your self-practice, you want to find your own way, that is plenty fine. I respect that. Some people, that's what they do. I learned a lot about mindfulness and mental fitness and personal development prior to going through the positive intelligence program myself. But I'm always investing in myself, always curious to learn more, because I found the more I invest in myself, the better I show up. It just has a great return on investment of time, money, and everything else. So there may be some of you out there that want to follow a path, a program. You're looking for a guided plan, and you'd really want to have some guidance practicing the PQ operating system, learning more about the different techniques, doing more self-exploration, and you'd like to have the resources and support. And that's what the PQ 6-week program is all about. And because sharing is caring, for those who are interested in continuing the journey and strengthening their mental fitness, you are invited to a cohort of the Positive Intelligence Program. Just visit mypositivefix.com/cohort. There is an opportunity to learn more about the program on the page, and I'll also have an incentive for you to get a discount on enrollment. And I do that as a way because I already have a business, Growth Amplifiers, which does business coaching and marketing advisory. That's my bread and butter. This practice here is about me sharing with others so that they can have more freedom and fulfillment in their lives like I have had in mine, so that they can share this information with your spouse or your kids or your business partner or your team members or your clients or your community or your friends, your colleagues, whatever you'd like to share. Now, the Positive Intelligence Program is a 6-week personal growth program. There's not a lot of things to learn. There's no tests. It's really about self-exploration, learning some concepts that you can apply in your life, and then practicing them. Each week, there's about an hour of video lesson. It's broken up into different modules that you watch on your own schedule, and it guides you through some concepts. And then through the week, you practice some of those concepts doing a little bit of daily practice. There's some check-ins, some new techniques that you can apply, new thoughts, and you just practice the PQ reps, strengthening your mental fitness. Now, if you go through the program, you'll get access to the PQ app for a year. And as I mentioned, you participate on your own schedule. So there's not specific times you have to show up. You just go through the app, you go through the program. And you actually get a copy of the Positive Intelligence audiobook in the app itself. Now, this is what the app looks like, and you can track your progress along the way. You get the daily challenges so that you can tune in. I like to start mine and listen to the first one at the beginning of the day and do the next one before breakfast, the next one around lunchtime, do one towards the end of the day. And then you could they have different exercises you can walk through and do different PQ reps through guided sessions, or you can choose to do them in other means, but it's a tool that you can use to make sure that you're staying on track and really getting the benefits of the knowledge and information. And the thing that's helpful for me is the tracking. I always had the intention of meditating and being mindful on a regular basis since I've been maybe in my 20s, but like working out, it hadn't been consistent. I'd do it for a little bit and then not do it for maybe a few months and then get inspired to do it again, do it for a little bit, and just didn't quite build a long-lasting habit. But having gone through the program, the app helped me to stay on track for almost 3 years now. I've been consistent, doing it daily, and I've been tracking the progress and feeling the results. And that's really what it takes, is the consistent progress, the consistent action. If you want to stay in shape, you got to continue to work out. Now, the Positive Intelligence program is not just about, learning mindfulness for the sake of mindfulness, or learning the sage powers just so you have these things called sage powers. There are practices that you can apply into different areas of your life, whether that's reducing stress and anxiety, or building better relationships, or having more creativity, or developing your leadership skills, or achieving peak performance. There's a lot of different areas in your life that you can apply this information. It impacts every aspect of your life. That's why for me, it's so worth the effort. It's just like staying healthy. Why would you not stay healthy? It's going to impact every aspect of your life. Now, you can hear what other participants have said. Some people have been through similar programs in the past, but they found this transformational. Others really found that the app was helpful to have something to guide them and to make them stay on track, to empower them to stay on track. And then other people have found it, while maybe they have heard some things before, even just having a refresher and kind of taking that time to reflect and put things back in perspective can be helpful. So because sharing is caring, if you're interested, go to mypositivefix.com/cohort. You can see the current offer that we have up. We do have special offers at different times, so check out what it says when you visit the page. Again, there's no pressure on my end. I'm sharing because I'm caring. And if you're looking to have less stress and anxiety, improved focus and clarity, and achieve your personal best, that is what I'd recommend. Checking it out. If you do it, you invest in yourself, it will pay off for the rest of your life. Thank you so much for this opportunity to connect. Hope you found this helpful and inspiring. You have one life to live, might as well go full out. Keep on amplifying. Thank you for being the person